Get ready with me while I tell you why I'm literally more annoyed than I've ever been in my whole life. Okay, so I'm getting ready for a wedding right now. It's like my dad's coworker's wedding. And on the invitation, it specifically said like, please do not wear anything white, like, because the bride's gonna be wearing white, obviously. And immediately when I saw that, I was just like, okay, selfish. So obviously I'm not listening to that. Like, they don't get to control what I wear. So then like 2 weeks ago, like the bride sent out like a follow-up note that was just like, hey, reminder, please don't wear white to the wedding. And at that point I had already bought my outfit because like I plan ahead, like I'm just being considerate. And then because I'm nice, I like send an email to the bride. I'm like, hey, just a heads up, I'm still gonna be wearing white because I feel like it and I already got my outfit. And then this woman responds to me like only like a week ago and she's like, hey, just letting you know, if you show up wearing white, we're not gonna let you in. Like, she went on this whole rant and made up this whole excuse about how like it's important to her family and stuff that she's the only one wearing white at her wedding, which I don't know, just seems like the worst lie ever. Like, it's not that big of a deal and she's just being like selfish. And so like I don't really know what she expects me to do, so I'm just gonna like show up wearing white and hope that she doesn't like have a fit, because if she was actually considerate of her guests and like my time, then she would have been like way more clear about it and like actually helped me. I think she's honestly probably just a little threatened by me because like she probably knows that I'm like prettier than her. I've never even met this woman, by the way, so like the audacity of her to think that she can be talking to me like this at all is honestly really funny to me. I'm honestly probably gonna have to have like a little chat with the bride and honestly maybe even the groom about the way I'm being treated with this whole thing. I don't know if it's honestly even worth it though, because my dad told me that if I behave at the wedding, then he'll take me on a shopping spree. But I think I'm pretty much ready to go. I'll let you guys know how it goes. This whole video is fake and I am actually going to a wedding, but it's a very casual wedding and we're allowed to wear white, so don't worry y'all.
I'm going to tell you about the most traumatizing sleepover I've ever had. I need to light my candle for this one. So I was about 14 at the time and Brittany invited everyone over to her house for her birthday sleepover. And her parents had given her an allowance to go shopping at the mall the next day with all of us. Keep in mind, their family had just moved into their new house, so everything was like brand new. It was probably around 10 or 11 p.m. when my best friend and another girl randomly locked themselves in the bathroom. And I was having FOMO because I was 14. So I'm like knocking on the door and I'm like, guys, what are you doing? Like, what are you talking about? And for whatever reason, they like weren't answering me. So my dumb thought, if I kicked the door really loud, then it would make like a bang sound and get their attention, and then they would open the door and like tell me what they were talking about. I was fully to blame in the story, okay? I was a literal idiot in high school. So I swing my foot up, I kick the door, and I swear to God, I wasn't even like trying to do it hard. I was just trying to do it loud enough to make a noise and get their attention. My foot literally goes right through the door. And it didn't fully come out the other side or anything, but it made a huge hole in the door. Me knowing this was Brittany's house, my very first thought was she's going to me. My best friend and the other girl opened the door and their jaws just drop and I was like, oh my gosh, Brittany. So Brittany comes out of her room, she sees the hole in the door and she absolutely loses it on me. I was like, I'm so sorry, I feel terrible, I'll fix it. She's screaming at me. Then her parents come upstairs to see what happened and they were mad. Her dad saw what happened and then he just marched right back down the stairs. Her mom was like lecturing us, I was apologizing profusely. Her mom like goes downstairs, talks to the dad for a minute and then comes back upstairs after we heard the front door slam. She says, Daddy went to the gas station for a minute because he needs to take some time to cool down. I was like, I literally thought he was going to come back and like us. So her parents are furious at me. Brittany is screaming at me. She was like, F you, Jessie. These were brand new doors in our brand new house. Now my parents aren't gonna give me money for a shopping spree tomorrow. My best friend is literally sobbing. One girl is sitting in the corner hyperventilating and having a panic attack. Brittany was screaming at me. I remember being like, I have $13 cash. I know it's not a lot, but I'll give it all to you. I'm so sorry. And then I was like, I have this Calm app. Maybe we should all do a meditation to calm down. Picture 7 14-year-old girls listening to a meditation and sobbing themselves to sleep. Yeah, her parents hated me after that, and I'm pretty sure she holds a grudge against me for that to this day.
Hello guys, what's poppin'? Brand new witches hopped in. Get ready with me while I tell you guys a very scary story time. My favorite game to play on Roblox is Natural Disaster Survival. But just because I like the game doesn't mean I want to play an in-life simulation of it. which is basically what I got last week. So here's a story time about how I got stuck outside during a tornado last week. I was at the library because obviously I'm a very exciting person. I'm doing my work, and I like to face the window when I do my work because I like to people watch. And all of a sudden, it was a really sunny day, and it suddenly turned like super dark, and then it started thundering, raining really hard. A couple of minutes go by, and then I hear tornado warning coming from my phone and from everybody else's phone and from the TV. So I'm like, oh, okay, we're getting a tornado. And like where I am, tornadoes are like not that uncommon. Like it does happen like sometimes. So I'm like, okay. So I keep doing my work, and then all of a sudden like the power goes out. Like the workers were just like, okay, everybody like sit still, like it's okay. I'm next to the carpet, and then the carpet starts flooding water on the carpet, like seeping through. So basically I was just like, oh, let me move because I have like my laptop and my iPad and all my notes. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna move so I don't get like drowned. So I'm on this side, and I walk around to like the whole other side. By the way, they had locked the doors so like nobody could get out. I literally forgot to put my concealer on. Okay, it's okay, whatever. Basically, then the two workers come up to me. I'm like the only one here because I can't drive myself home because first of all, I only have my permit. Second of all, my mom drove me there. So a girl working there comes up to me and she's like, we're actually gonna close now. And I'm like, what do you mean? You're not closing without me. Just kidding. I didn't actually say that, but I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, yeah, we're gonna go home now. I'm like, oh. I was like the only one there. Sorry, I was literally like, okay, then where should I go? I was like, do you just want me to like stand outside? And they were like, yeah, you can go, you can stand outside. I'm like, it's a tornado, furniture is flying outside, branches are flying outside. So I go and they close up, and I'm standing outside in a tornado. I literally call my mom and I'm like, I'm standing outside in the tornado. And she's literally like, what? So obviously she drops everything and she comes to get me. The people working there couldn't have just like stayed with me until my mom came. Really? When I was outside, a tree branch literally almost hit me. Like I was dodging stuff. But then my mom picked me up and she got me McDonald's, and I had a really good burger and fries. But guys, you let me know if you've ever been in a natural disaster, or in a flood or a tornado or a hurricane or earthquake, whatever, because those are really scary.
Get ready with me while I tell you guys about how I accidentally snitched on my sister in high school for sneaking out. So she was in 12th grade and I was in 9th grade, but I probably had the maturity level of a 5th grader and the knowledge of a 5th grader. To put things in perspective, at this time I was sleeping with my little brother because we would stay up all night and play Minecraft. Very well under what I should have been at my age. So one night, me and my little brother finished our Minecraft Chronicles. And I believe I fell asleep for a little bit, but then I noticed my sister's light was on, so I was like, I'm gonna go be nice and turn that off for her. So I went to turn her TV off, and I noticed there was blankets covering her on her bed, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's not gonna be able to breathe. And when I tell you, this is literally my 9th grade thoughts. So when I pulled the blanket back to help her breathe better, I saw these pillows in position that looked like a human. And this is gonna sound so dramatic. After I did that, I noticed her curtain was blowing, and it's nighttime, so everything was more dramatic to me. So in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, somebody kidnapped my sister, left her TV, her light on, made it look like there was somebody still sleeping in her bed so that they could get away with this. So I'm already freaking out, already on the verge of tears, and I'm like, I have to go run to my parents' room and tell them that Sarah's kidnapped. And how naive I was at the time definitely kept me from understanding the situation, obviously. So I go into my parents' room and I'm like, guys, Sarah's kidnapped, and I'm crying already. And the first thing my mom does is hop out of bed and goes, Sarah snuck out. And I was no part of me thought that. I was like, no, mom, she's kidnapped. You don't understand. The curtain was swinging in the dark. So I start sitting on the couch while my parents are calling her and going outside to see where she's at. And I'm crying, but at this point I'm maybe I did accidentally snitch. So my sister gets home and she's explaining her side of the story to my parents and why she had to do what she did. And I'm just sitting there So at this point, she's obviously a little sad because she got in trouble. I would have gotten in trouble too. And I'm just I'm going to go in her room and comfort her. And don't think I'm a snake because I didn't know. Not my stupid self saying to her, I wouldn't have told on you. I just thought you got kidnapped. She goes, you told? Yeah, that was me. Moral of the story, if you ever think you're not a cool person, at least you're not me.